Hi, in this video we will solve the integral of x times the square root of 25 minus x squared. We will use three techniques: trigonometry substitution, simplification, and u substitution. We start with the integral of x times the square root of 25 minus a squared dx. The goal is to eliminate the square root so we can integrate more easily. We recognize this as the form square root of a squared minus x squared, where a equals 5. This tells us to apply trigonometric substitution. Step 1. We define x as 5 times sine theta. This substitution comes from the reference right triangle, where the hypotenuse is 5. Step 2. We differentiate x equals 5 sine theta with respect to theta. This gives us dx equals 5 cosine theta d theta. Step 3. We substitute x equals 5 sine theta into square root. Using the identity sine squared plus cosine squared equals 1, the radical simplifies to 5 cosine theta. Now we replace every piece of the integral with its theta equivalent. X becomes 5 sine theta, the square root becomes 5 cosine theta, and dx becomes 5 cosine theta d theta.
After the substitution, we have three separate factors of 5 inside the integral. Multiplying 5 times 5 times 5 gives us 125. We factor out 125 and group the remaining trigonometric terms. We now have two cosine theta terms which combine into cosine squared theta. The integral simplifies to 125 times the integral of cosine squared theta times sin theta d theta. In the next part, we will solve this using a substitution. We now focus on solving 125 times the integral of cos squared theta times sin theta. We know that the derivative of cosine theta is negative sin theta. This is a key observation. We let u equal cosine theta. Differentiating both sides, we get du equals negative sin theta d theta. Rearranging negative du equals sin theta d theta. With substitution in the integral, cosine squared d theta becomes u squared and sin theta d theta becomes negative du. Integral becomes negative 125 times the integral of u squared du. Applying the power rule, the integral of u squared is u cubed over 3. So we get negative 125 over 3 times u cubed plus the constant c.
We have the result in terms of u. Now we must substitute back to get the answer in terms of x. We recall from our reference triangle that cosine theta equals the square root of 25 minus 1 squared divided by 5. We replace u with cosine theta and cosine theta with its expression in x. This gives us negative 125 over 3 times the quantity square root of 25 minus of square over 5 raised to the third power plus c. We expand the cube denominator. 5 cubed equals 125. The 125 in the numerator cancels with the 125 in the denominator. The final answer is negative 1/3 times the quantity 25 minus or x squared raised to the 3 halves powers plus c. Note that the square root cubed is equivalent to raising to the 3 halves powers. To summarize, the integral of x times the square root of 25 minus of x squared equals negative 1/3 times 25 minus x squared to the 3 halves plus c. We solve this using trigonometric substitution, simplification, and your substitution.